It's like Bailey Zappi in the.
Am I not allowed to root for my home team? Lamar has played Mahomes 4 times. Chiefs are 3-1, and Mahomes has thrown for, checking the notes here, 1,500 yards, 12 touchdowns, and only 2 interceptions. Lamar was asked about competing with Patrick, and here's what he said.
I don't like competing against him at all. But yeah, I mean, he's a great quarterback. Definitely a Hall of Famer. It's not even it's a no-brainer. He's definitely a Hall of Famer. But it's just, I believe it's just two greats, up-and-coming greats, just going toe-to-toe, like a heavyweight fight.
I like that. I like that.
I like his authenticity. And it does feel like you're underrating Mahomes when you say he's definitely a Hall of Famer. Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, you think? But
do you want the question?
Yes.
Officially? Brew, is Lamar Mahomes the real Manning-Brady rivalry?
It's certainly more Manning-Brady than Josh Allen and Mahomes is. All right, and here's why. We all presume that Lamar's going to win his second MVP. So you got 2 guys with MVP. Mm-hmm. Both of them have 2 MVPs. Both of them have 2 All-Pro recognition, awards, and obviously they've been multiple, to Pro Bowls. So you can throw Joe Burrow, Mahomes in there, and obviously Burrow beat him in the playoffs. Maybe C.J. Stroud will emerge. Who knows? So there are other potential. There are other. Yes. Battles that could end up being Brady, Manning. We'll see how it ends up. But this is definitely more than Josh Allen, Mahomes, because Josh Allen, all he has is 2 Pro Bowls.
Thank you.
And I think he's great, but 2 Pro Bowls, that's it. It's not even close.
So listen, it's a better question because Lamar has some real pelts on the wall. Right. There's 2 different types of real accolades, in my opinion, in the NFL. Postseason success and high-level individual honors. Lamar is now 2-time, from the individual honors perspective, he has the same trophy case as Mahomes, or he will here in a couple weeks, right? You have 2 MVPs. So it's closer, but and this is not disrespectful to Lamar, I don't think Mahomes has a rival.
That's correct.
It's a Tiger Phil situation. It's a Gretzky, Lemieux, Messier situation where there is a clear-cut, unquestioned best, and then that doesn't mean they win every year. That doesn't, what I mean? That doesn't mean you're going to go undefeated against these guys. Doesn't mean their trophy case is going to be empty. But there's not a rivalry, and this is the problem with the contemporary when people bring up Brady Manning. People have totally forgotten that for 15 years, that was a real argument. Oh, so yeah. that it wasn't like so if I can just remind people of the history of it, Brady up until 06, Brady had the 3 championships. It was 2-0 against Peyton, but Peyton at that point had 2 league MVPs, and there was real question of, okay, Brady's good, but is he great? Like that was a real question at that point. Then Peyton beat him in 21-3 comeback, went to the Super Bowl, and from that moment forward, Brady lost to him twice in the playoffs, and they played in Denver. Brady didn't win another Super Bowl until 8 years later. Peyton went to another one in Denver. And then when the day Peyton Manning retired, the Super Bowls were 4-2 Brady. The MVPs were 5-2 Peyton, and Peyton was up 3-2 in the playoff matchups the day he retired. And it was like, well, there was a real argument. The problem is after he retired, Brady went to 3 straight Super Bowls, went to another one a couple years later, won another league MVP, and distorted the argument. But during the entirety of Peyton Manning's playing career, there was a real debate who was better. That is not the case with Patrick Mahomes, if anyone's having an honest, real debate about it. So I don't think there is that rivalry.
Would you say this? If the Ravens win this game, Lamar plays well, and the Ravens go on to win the Super Bowl, do you think then it becomes a rivalry?
I think it is. I think that if Lamar wins the game, it is a rivalry in the way Mahomes-Burrow. I consider that a rivalry, but as far as, hey, he beat you, you got to go beat him, all that stuff. Yeah. I don't consider it a rivalry where the stakes are the best quarterback in the world. I don't think that title's up for grabs for the time being.
I would agree with that, but I do look, if Lamar gets the Super Bowl, now he's got 1 fewer Super Bowl than Mahomes. Yep. And the same number of MVP.
And Mahomes would have, because this is their first time playing in the playoffs, Mahomes wouldn't have beaten him in the playoffs. So yes, it would at least be, you could
I
posit
think
the
people
argument.
would be now. I think everybody still would recognize Mahomes for the most part as the best player in the league. But I think like going into next year,
He would have
it would
to
be like
prove it next year
the two
again.
best quarterbacks in the league.
Yes.
Let's see.
I agree with that.
Okay. Ravens safety Marcus Williams joined Kay Adams and lobbed a small amount of trash talk, like a sample size that you get at Whole Foods. Take a listen.
I think, we can match up against anybody, and they got to come in here and see us. I mean, they got to see us, right? It's not like, they got to come into the bank and they got to play us at the end of the day. So they got to prepare just as much.
I don't know if that counts.
I mean,
Brew, we've seen Mahomes thrive on bulletin board material. I don't consider.
The board is sensitive.
That's
I
a
don't
great
know
wait,
what he's
point.
no,
gonna do
hold
with
on.
this.
You
The
don't know
board
what's
is
going to happen.
sensitive. Well,
This is just out here to inform Brew's answer to the question you're going to ask.
Brew,
him.
is
So
this
go
a
ahead.
good idea? Which I don't consider that trash talk, but if we do
I don't really consider that trash talk. What I'll say is this. If the Ravens do, I don't expect them to talk trash. If they do, it will not give me pause. It will not make me
look at
worry.
the
It will
bulletin
not
board.
make
What do
me
you
scared.
see? Really? That's why I brought this out.
It will not. No.
It's a
the
graveyard.
The Ravens are not a silly franchise.
True.
When they talk trash, if they talk trash, they know what they're doing and they're prepared to back it up. When the Cowboys talk trash, that's just what they do. That's their culture.
Yeah.
And they're not going to necessarily back it up. All right? The Bills, when they talk trash, what their culture's shaky. That's what they do. They're not necessarily going to back it up. When the Niners went to the Eagles and talked trash, guess what? They weren't worried. They backed it up. So Ravens aren't going to come out and just start a boatload of trash. But I'm just saying, if they do, this thing is going to be settled on the field, and it's not going to be because they said something.
So listen, I think the Ravens are a smart team that desperately wants to win this game, which is why they're being so cautious with their words. You heard what Lamar said. Lamar could not have been more complimentary. I did not think Marcus Williams was saying bulletin board worthy things, which is why he is not on the board. Roquan Smith, will play you the sound. Roquan flirted with it, looked at it, was getting ready to buy it a drink, and then said, you know what, I'm not going to do it. Hear from Roquan Smith.
He puts his pants on just like any other quarterback. Yes, he's an elite quarterback, but at the end of the day, we're an elite defense, and that's our job, to stop the opposing offense, and that's our job, play in and play out, and that's what we got to do.
See, so it's smart.
say no.
Exactly right, which is why he's not on the board.
Do you think that was even flirty?
When he
This
said
is
he
just
puts
who
his
they are.
pants on the way everybody else does, he